What's up, guys? Sensei Beckham here, and we got Cobra Kai Season 3, Episode 7. So, yeah, let's get into this. Okay, so this episode starts off with Sam having a bad dream about Tori. Yeah. So, Miguel and then it transitions to Miguel and Johnny trying to come up with a cooler name since since they want to get a dojo, they have to come up with a cooler name. Okay, so yeah, and Daniel and Amanda are talking, and she's like today, and they're like Sam, hey Sam, you should rejoin. Me and Amanda have talked, and and she's 100% on board with Daniel reopening Miyagi-Do. And she's like, hey, and he's like, hey, do you want to get back into it? And she's like, no, I'm quitting karate. So it's like, yeah, and he tries to talk to her, but she's like, there's no changing my mind, I quit karate. Discussion over. So he decides, hey, let's have some Sam and Daniel time, and she talks about how she just froze, how she just froze there, and she couldn't do anything, and she felt like and everything was gonna happen all over again. Miguel was gonna fall, Robbie was gonna run, and yeah, I feel bad for Sam this season, because she was just trying, yeah, she just can't get over the whole school brawl thing, and the whole Miguel and the whole Hawk bring Dimitri's arm thing flashed her back to it. So yeah. And Miguel's back in school in this episode. So yeah, and he's like, hey, he talks to Dimitri, he's like, and also Yasmin there, if Yasmin's there, and she's like, hey, your cast kind of stinks, Dimitri, and yeah. So yeah, he's like, why am your army? He's like, it's a long story. So he basically told him what happened, and so later on he confronts Hawk, and he's like, hey, dude, what's up? Why'd you break Dimitri's army? He's like, I was doing you a favor, getting revenge on the Miyagi-Do, and it's like, it's not their fault. Well, it's Sensei. Well, it's you're just throwing. That's not what Sensei Lawrence taught. And he's like, he's not our Sensei anymore, and he's like, that's not you, that's Kreese. So yeah. So yeah. And then later, Johnny comes to the school, and he's like, hey, and he's like, Miguel says that the Cobra Kai's are drinking the Kool-Aid, and Johnny at Fireway is like, what? I thought Kool-Aid's good. And he's like, Sensei Kreese is turning them into a bunch of buttholes, and he goes to confront him, and he's like, hey, Kreese, when you came into my dojo, you guys were a bunch of babies, but I molded you into the guys that you are, not Kreese. So if you want to stick with me, come to join my new dojo, and if not, then that's too bad. So yeah. And also, yeah. So later, they're all training, and they're like, hey, and Johnny's still trying to get a dojo. He tries to get one from Anoush, but Anoush won't give it to him, and then he tries. I said Arman in my review, but now we know his name is Anoush. for season 1 or 2, and now I know his name is Anoush. So he goes to Anoush, but that doesn't work, so he goes to another guy. But then he goes to another guy, and the guy's like, "This is a free park. Can you go back to his family?" He's like, "Okay." So Johnny's like, "Hey." So they all meet up with Johnny, and Johnny's like, "This will be our new dojo. You don't need a dojo to be a dojo." And he's like, here's our new name, Eagle Fang Karate. And one of the kids is like, "Eagles don't have fangs." He just throws the shirt at him. And then Kreese shows up, and then Hawk and the others show up. But look who's behind them, it's Kreese. And Hawk said, "I told you before, Cobra Kai for life." So yeah. And he's like, "Johnny, you could just come back to Cobra Kai and this could all be over." And Johnny's like, why would I ever come back to you, Kreese? And he's like, "Then you're never coming, then this could all be over." And he's like, then you're not coming back. He's like, "Good." And that's how the episode ends. So Daniel figured out. So Sam was also the scene where Sam and Daniel are training with both staffs, and he's like that the whole retreat was for them to for karate purposes. So yeah, so this episode was very good. Sam is still having Tori PTSD or Tori bad dreams. Johnny came up with his dojo name, Eagle Fang Karate. But Hawk is still unwilling to turn away from Kreese, and Kreese basically told him that he's not allowed back. He said they allowed back, but Johnny said no, he's never coming back to him. And yeah, and Miguel was back. Also, yeah, Kyler, he's still awful. Like in season 1. He wrote a wiener on Dimitri's cast, and Yasmin, being Yasmin. Yasmin's kind of nice this season. I kind of like Yasmin this season. She wrote, "I love your wiener. Love Yasmin. I really like her. She's not that mean. She's kind of sympathizing with Dimitri now, because in season 1, she thought that she was the highest in the school, but now that because of Aisha's wedgie, people are now laughing at her, and people are also laughing at Dimitri. So she feels like she now sympathizes with Dimitri now. So yeah, when I first saw Yasmin back, I was when I saw the trailer for season 3, and I saw that Yasmin was gonna come back. I was like, am I going to not like Yasmin just like season 1? But they proved me wrong. I really like Yasmin this season, better than season 1 Yasmin. She's way better than her season 1 self, and yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching this review. I'll see you guys in the Cobra Kai season 3 episode 7, and remember to always send it to the internet and see ya. And also, send it to the internet.